It is another edition of our virtual happy hour presented by Bud Light Seltzer. Julie Donaldson here with you as we are every day at 2:30. Practice today started a little bit later. It was raining and it was wet out earlier, but they did decide to stay out on the field for practice. It's nice and sunny right now, so glad to have you here with me. I do not do these shows alone. Why would I want to? Zach Selby, our Washington football team insider, is joining me for this as we start a tab. We do, though, as always, Zach, glad to have you here. Talk a little bit about the journey. Excited to see what fans weigh in on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, we had a good fan submission here earlier today. We see them saying they would like the Metros to be the new Washington football team name. And I'll say this, I've seen a lot of very interesting people on the Metro in the past 3 years that I've lived here, and it does speak to the diversity of the DMV area, and all the versatility you see whenever you're hopping on the red line or the green line. And I think I'll say this: it would be a really cool name. It does capture a lot of things that I've come to love about the DMV for sure.
I'm not so sure how I feel about this one, but I'm not against the method, the idea he has behind it. It draws fans together to connect them to each other in the same way the Metro does in DC. Yes, we want to connect with the fans. Hey, look, though, this is the whole point of the journey, WashingtonJourney.com. You can put your ideas out there. We are highlighting quite a few of them, as you see, and this is why we're going to take our time to get it right, because everybody has a different opinion, Zach, on what they want this team, their team, to be called. Continue to go to the journey and see us through this entire process. All right, so our tab is up and running, and well, so was practice today, the second day in pads. We were doing the show up here, so I couldn't get a close-up look, so I need you to fill me in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was down there, and it was a little wet and muggy, but they couldn't keep the Washington team away from doing practice today. And honestly, the offense looked really, really good. But I did see some consistencies down there. Ron Rivera talked about having a constant rotation, but there were a couple of things that I noticed, especially in the secondary. Now, for the most part, the secondary was the same as it was yesterday. We had Troy Apke and Landon Collins as the free and strong safeties, respectively. Roland Darby was at the corner position, but there was a switch between Kendall Fuller and Jimmy Moreland. They switched positions, so Moreland was more in the slot now, and Fuller has an outside corner. And also the receivers, that's pretty much stayed the same as well. Terry McLaurin, Steven Sims, and Dontrell Inman were the starters, working with Dwayne Haskins at first. And then we had the second group, which featured AGG, Antonio Gandy Golden, Trey Quint, and Cam Sims. All of them have looked really good so far. I can't wait to see what they do next.
Having a lot of different players switch positions goes right along with what head coach Ron Rivera has said, as they want guys that can play multiple spots, to learn multiple positions, not just lock in on what they have. That's the way that they feel that you're going to be able to have depth and have the best out of these players. But it becomes to a question then of who's going to play what and when, who's going to start, especially when it comes to that free safety spot. Who's going to be playing opposite of Landon Collins? Well, that question was posed to Landon himself.
Apthy. I've been playing next to Apthy, Sean Davis, and DeShaja Everett throughout the camp. So I think today, y'all, like I said, y'all said today, y'all saw me with Apthy today. So just being on the same page. Like I said, my biggest thing is communication. I move around a lot. I decide on what side I want to play on the side of the ball. So just being on the same page with the guys that's next to me is the biggest key. And knowing what you got to do, because you could give me a key, you could give me like a little nugget to tell me, hey, I need to move a little bit wider because he feels like a run is coming my way or a pass might be coming my way or I might be giving up my leverage. So same thing when I give those guys. So just being on the same page is everything. And knowing the knowledge of the game. I mean, they I think a lot of them they get a lot of play time, and just knowing what they can and cannot do with doing this training camp is teaching them a lot.
You've played next to all three of them. So at this point, is there someone that you feel like you have the most intuitive comfort with, like you don't necessarily need to communicate certain things, or like you just have a certain simpatico with one of the three guys that's played free safety? Or if I feel like you might say you don't want to pick one, but you might say like what are their strong suits if you don't pick one of the three?
It's different for each guy, but like we all communicate. To pick one right now is like I said, it's I think week 3. I mean, not week 3, day 4 of practicing. So I'm still going through rotations just to feel out who I can really, communicate more with and be on the same page with.
That's like asking somebody to pick a favorite, one of your teammates. You can't do that, right? Because then you're going to kick someone out. But look, they are rotating. It is very early on, Zach. If you were, though, to sit there and say who you think is going to be starting opposite of Landon and who's looked the best next to him, where would you go?
Well, Landon might not be able to pick a favorite, but I certainly am. So I'm going to go with my boy Troy Apke. Now, we talked about him earlier back, but he has really been the guy. At the starting free safety position, and Ron Rivera really likes him because he's a smart player. He does a lot of things well. He's absorbed what he's supposed to do in this defense. And Landon Collins has also said the same thing. He said he's picking his brain, trying to figure out different things to do in the secondary. And honestly, Ron Rivera said that he had to work on his angles a little bit, and sure, he's a third-year player, so there are some things that he still needs to work on. But I say that Troy Apke, if you go off the past 2 days, he is the guy. He's the guy we all need to be paying attention to. And honestly, I thought that Sean Davis was going to be that guy early in camp, but no, Troy Apke has come on, and so far, he's the guy.
Yeah, it is very early on. We actually talked to him a little bit later in the show, and I asked him about how Coach said he wants him to work on his angles and how he plans to be able to do that as camp does progress. Again, it's a little early to see, but they're trying to figure out which guy fits in the best spot. If we stay in the secondary but maybe move to the corner position, Fabian Moreau is somebody that they moved from the inside to the outside last season. We haven't really talked a lot about him. Have we seen enough to be able to kind of figure out where he's going to play?
Yeah, so for right now, he's working with the twos. Like we said last year, he was one of the big starters, and he played really well last year. But now he's working with the backups. But I wouldn't look too much into that right now because Ron Rivera has said pretty much every day that he wants to have a solid rotation of guys at every single position because they're trying to find out the right combination. It's only 2 days in camp. We're not going to be able to create a depth chart off of just a couple hours of camp essentially. So. Moreau is working with the twos right now, but it could change as early as tomorrow. He might work in there in the slot or maybe on the outside where he played well last year. So, he's done some good things with the twos, so maybe things are going to change. I think they could for sure.
A player that they only had in the slot last season was Jimmy Moreland, but they're trying to use him outside as well. Where do you see him fitting in? And then also when it comes to Ronald Darby?
Yeah, Jimmy Moreland is a guy that they really have used on the outside and on the inside. And, we talked about it a little bit. And last year, he was mostly a slot corner, but Chris Harris has said that he can play on the inside and the outside. He's got the athletic ability to do that. So that offers the versatility that all these coaches love to talk about. And as far as Ronald Darby goes, he has really come on and he has proven himself to be, a quality starter for the team so far. And, Landon talked about Ronald yesterday, and he said that he thinks that Ronald is an excellent quarter. He's done some good things at Buffalo. He played well with the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 seasons, and he's done some good things in his career so far. So, and he's impressed his coaching staff in the past couple of days. So I think and plus on top of that, he's made a couple plays as well yesterday. So I think he's played really well, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just keeps that corner position for the next week.
Yeah, I think if he stays healthy and continues on the path that they are hoping for him, he could very well be their best corner out there. But again, we will see as camp does progress, keeping a close eye on where they fit into the rotations. Okay, so our tab is started. When we come back, we're going to play a little game of Guess Who. I want everybody at home to play along with me because it's not fair for me to try and guess these alone. Zach's going to put me through the test. Tweet your answers in. We'll be right back.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the couch.
Baseball or football or racquetball. We don't mind, we'll watch any at all.
'Cause it's root for the home team.
Oh, way, we don't really care.
Oh, no, I care.
'Cause sports are finally back and there's a Bud Light there.
A moment of joy, a source of inspiration, an act of kindness, an old friend, a new beginning, some welcome relief, or a cause for celebration. What's inside? Possibilities, what we deliver by delivering.
This is the front door.
Here's the living room.
The hallway.
that takes us to
The kitchen.
The bedroom.
oh, and of course, where we spend most of our time.
The backyard.
We're back on our virtual happy hour presented by Bud Light Seltzer, and joining me for the show is Zach Selby. This is What's on Tap, and it's a little game. I get a little nervous with these sometimes because I feel like you put me on the spot, Zach. Let's go, though.
Yeah, all right. So they're going to start off easy, and they're going to get a little bit harder there, Julie. So the first guy that we're going to have is he had at least 100 tackles from 2012 to 2016. He had a 46-yard touchdown fumble return in 2016, and he's had 54 career pass breakups. Who is he?
Well, if we have to go back to 2012 and somebody that's been consistently playing and having 100 tackles, I would go Thomas Davis Sr. Probably.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're
I
already
don't know
one
who
for
else has
one.
been playing in 2012.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of the only guys there. But yeah, and, speaking about Thomas Davis, he's done really well in camp. He sat out, today in camp with a vet day, but he knows it. He knows Ron Rivera's system. He knows the culture, and he's a good leader for this young linebacker group. All right, so the next guy that we have here, so he had 224 of his 251 tackles were solo. He had 2 interceptions in his rookie year, and also in his rookie year, he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Month in September, and he is Pro Football Focus's Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who is he?
Can we narrow down who was in the AFC their rookie season? Because if I were to go Landon Collins, that wouldn't work.
I'll say he's on the defense, so obviously he's in the second.
Well, I
he's
mean,
in the secondary. So
defense, secondary. The rest couldn't be Moreau, couldn't be Moreland. So who we're just talking about, Darby.
Yeah, that's it. You're 2 for 2. Now, again, we're going to talk about Ronald Darby here. He made some really good plays in camp so far, and again, he's really emerged as one of those starting cornerbacks that we're going to have to watch for the rest of camp for sure. And the next guy, the last guy, this one's going to be a little bit tougher here. It's going off the field stuff. So I'm going to try to trick you with this one, Julie. So, all right. So first of all, he was a high school sports writer when he was a kid. He had to cut double stuffed Oreos out of his diet for the off season. And on top of that, his first Nike football camp was right here in Innova Sports Performance Center. Who do you think he is?
Is this offense or defense?
It's offense. We'll go with offense.
Okay. Well, I'm leaning towards our quarterback for this because I know he did lose weight. I don't know if it was specifically the Oreos that he cut out of his diet. But I do know also, because I've been covering him since he went to Bullis, I knew that he did want to go into journalism, and even I think he wanted to shout at me one day when I was at NBC Sports Washington. His sister did as well. So would it be Dwayne Haskins Jr.?
Julie, I can't fool you. You are 3 for 3, perfect 100%. And, yeah, he did have to cut double stuffed Oreos out of his diet, and it definitely showed. I mean, he's lost about 17 pounds and, a lot of body fat on top of that. And I talked to him for about an hour this offseason, and when he told me he wanted to be a high school sports writer in school, I was like, oh my gosh, it's insane. But in that hour-long conversation that we had, you can check out the story that we had in my words on WashingtonFootball.com, and he told me how much he's grown, how much he's matured since his rookie year, and it's shown a lot on the field so far. I mean, he's looked crisp, he's looked decisive, and even when he's not running plays in the offense, he's there with quarterbacks coach Ken Zampese. He's just talking with Scott Turner, trying to figure out, everything that he can do to critique himself and make himself better this year. So, again, I can't fool you, Julie. But again, Dwayne Haskins has done really well so far in the past couple of days, and he's it's still a little bit of a competition for sure. But I think we can all say comfortably that Dwayne Haskins has done at least what he can on his part to earn that starting quarterback position.
I think you pretty much had me on Darby. In all honesty, I felt like I was just shooting a random dart of just who wasn't in. I know who was in the NFC, but I honestly was racking my brain on who was in the AFC there.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of a fun game. I'm glad I did decent this time. Appreciate you testing me. Hopefully everybody at home will see how well they did guessing along as well. Okay, when we come back, it is time to cheers our player of the day. That is Troy Apke. How does he plan on correcting what coach wants him to correct? Stick around.
The natural light is amazing.
Hardwood floors.
There is a bit of a clogging problem.
At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our renters and car insurance.
Yeah, helping us save even more.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the couch.
Baseball or football or racquetball, we don't mind, we'll watch any at all.
'Cause it's root for the home team.
Oh, way we don't really care.
Oh, no, I care.
'Cause sports are finally back and there's a Bud Light there.
Miracles. What we deliver by delivering.
Back on our virtual happy hour presented by Bud Light Seltzer, and it is time to cheers to that. Today, it is to Troy Apke. He's been getting a lot of time with the first team. He was drafted in 2018 in the 4th round, so he's entering his 3rd season. There's a certain amount of growth that comes with that, and we all know he's fast, but how can that translate into actually making plays on the defense? Well, that's part of our conversation. Here is cheers to that with Apke. Pads with the team. It's been what, since December since you've been able to do that? How's it feel now a couple days in?
Yeah, it feels great. It's definitely been a while. OTAs, we didn't have any OTAs. We were just virtual during all of that. So yeah, it definitely feels good, to be out there in pads with the team.
You had a little bit of a knee injury at the end of the season. All clear, all good?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm 100%.
All right, we've seen you out there with the first teams for the past few days, today playing opposite of Landon Collins. What are you getting from that, and how is that different from, I guess, having to rotate in differently?
Yeah, I'm just trying to go out every day and compete and kind of, whoever I'm out there with, whether it's Landon or someone else, just, getting our communication down and, the details of the defense.
Communication was a little bit of an issue last season. How has Chris Harris tried to help change that?
Oh, he's been great, especially, OTAs was definitely different with virtual, but I think he did a great job in teaching us the scheme of the defense, and just kind of, our communication and everything. Things we have to say, whether they a team motions, different formations like that. But yeah, definitely, he's helped us a lot with that.
He says he wants you guys to learn multiple positions, and he'll throw questions at you in the Zoom meetings. Has anybody ever been caught off guard by a question thrown at him?
Well, during OTAs, we used to do, it's called Kahoot. We used to go back and forth. It's kind of like he would put questions up and we would all have to answer. So it was all different questions. I was answering corner questions, corners were answering safeties questions like that. So yeah.
Does it get confusing, or do you find that it actually is maybe helping you become a better player?
Oh, it definitely helps. I think it helps everyone, just knowing kind of what everyone's doing on the play that's called, definitely helps you.
So if you've been studying the corner, studying the safety, then with the first team, rotating through positions, where's your role this season?
Wherever they need me, I'm trying to, just go out, like I said, every day and just, do my best, get better every single day and just, keep competing.
Special teams coach Nate Katzler stays over from last season. What is it like having that continuity and knowing what he expects of you?
Oh yeah, it's definitely nice having Nate here. last year I played a lot of special teams. I did well. So having him here and knowing his scheme already and what he wants from me, it's definitely good having that.
You ran what, a 4.34 at the combine? Do you get in foot races with any of the guys, and how do those end up?
We haven't raced. They talk about it, but mine's on paper, so it seems like Darby I think might have me. I think Darby has me, but we talk about it.
What about on offense? Would you be able to take on Terry?
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll see though. Who knows? I'm glad he's on my team though.
Fair enough. Who do you kind of enjoy going up against the most now that you're finally being able to face the defense?
Yeah, definitely. Just going with everyone. Like Terry out there. Whether I have to cut him on plays or even the new tight ends. They're all good. Sprinkle, Thomas out there. So yeah, just being out there in pads is real nice right now because it's been a while.
Talking about, I guess, the secondary room, Kendall Fuller comes in. He has that Super Bowl ring and an interception that game. What's it been like having him in that room with you?
Oh, it's great. He's a vet. He's a true pro. He goes about it the right way in meetings, off the field, and definitely on the field. He does everything right. So just seeing how he works and, it's real good.
And a lot of it as well. I mean, I've asked you about your defensive backs coach, your secondary or your special teams coach. What about just being underneath the leadership of head coach Ron Rivera?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely great. The leadership he brings when he talks to us, it's real good. I think everyone's bought in to what he's trying to, give to us and everything. So it's real good.
He says when talking about you, really good athletic skill set. He's got good range, good quickness. One thing he has to work on is his angles. So how do we work on that? What needs to be done?
I've been doing that every day in practice, just breaks wherever I'm breaking from, whether it's middle field, if I'm guarding someone, just breaking towards the ball with like eye discipline and just making sure I make a good break on the ball.
When it comes to your own personal goals, what are they for this season?
Honestly, just stay healthy. I want to start. I think everyone wants to start. Just be that guy out there with whoever I'm out there with and just, kind of be a leader out there and have everyone trust me.
If there is a big part of trust on this team, it has to be that defensive front. Are you already noticing what it might be like playing behind them?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not going live or anything, but you see it on film. You see, the way they work and, how good they'll be. So it's definitely nice being behind them.
I know you're finally back in pads. Again, it's just a couple of days. But was there anything unique that you did during quarantine to prepare for camp?
Kind of kept it all the same, really. Just worked out. I was back in Pittsburgh working out there. It was different. It was definitely weird because, I think I got kicked off a field like 3 times maybe or something like that. And it's like, you had to figure it out, but it was definitely different. But, I kind of try to keep it the same.
And now here at camp, I mean, you guys have to get the COVID test every morning. There's where you can and can't go. People that can and can't be around you. Separate locker rooms, separate weight rooms. You can't just even go to the buffet for food. I mean, how are you guys handling all these protocols that are in place?
I think everyone's handling it really well. We're all pros. We get that. So doing this and trying to keep everyone safe, and if that's what we have to do to have a season, that's what we'll do. So I think everyone's handling it really well.
Do you still have the same nickname, or do you have a nickname on the team?
Everyone calls me Trap. That's what everyone calls me. Yeah.
All right. I'd heard Wonder Bread last year as well.
Oh, yeah, Wonder Bread. Yeah, that's me. Shays calls me Wonder Bread. I call him Nutella because Wonder Bread Nutella, It's perfect.
We appreciate your time. Best of luck out there. We'll be watching closely.
All right. Thank you.
Zach, what is your nickname? Do we have Zach?
What is my nickname?
Yeah, what's your nickname?
So I was often called by my middle name in college was Dar, D-A-R.
Okay.
Most people just call me that, but no, not really that much of a nickname person, honestly.
Well, you're darting me now going forward. That's it. Okay, I had to get that in. Look, I'd heard he was, I heard he was Wonder Bread at one point, but yeah, trap works. Okay, so if we're to talk about how he fits in, should he get a lot more time on the defense as he's getting with the first team and work his way there? What does that mean to him on special teams? Because that's really where he's found his way over the last few years.
Yeah, it was funny. Nate Castor was talking about this earlier this offseason about how he was really excited about Terry McLaurin and Steven Sims being big special teams contributors in their rookie years, and then all of a sudden, they became bigger parts of the offense, and they were used less and less on the special teams, and that might be what the case happens with Troy Apke here. Now, again, we don't know yet. I mean, he's still in the rotation, still in that competition, but he could be very well in that conversation to be the starter, and if he does, then he's going to have a main priority, and that's going to be being the starting free safety for the defense. And if that happens, then you're gonna see a little bit less of Troy Apke out there in the special teams.
What about also if we're talking about that position and starting Sean Davis and DeShazer Everett?
Yeah, I think Sean Davis is a guy that I've always thought was going to be a really good guy for this defense moving forward, and I still think he could be a really good player for this defense. So I'm looking at him. I'm paying attention to see what he's going to do in camp. He's been relatively quiet so far, which is something that I've been surprised. I thought he was going to be a bigger star, but again, only 2 days in camp. So I think that Sean Davis could still have an impact on this defense, and we'll see. If Ron Rivera is saying that that we're going to rotate a lot more in the secondary, then DeShazer and Sean could easily see more time at free safety. So. Again, it's kind of one of those things where you're going to have to wait and see what happens, but I'm still looking at Sean Davis to see what he can do.
All right, wait and see. But at least we're finally seeing what it's like with pads on after a couple of days. Things are certainly to change in the rotation as we do go forward. There we go. That is cheers to that. When we come back, we're going to close it out.
Is the front door.
Here's the living room.
The hallway that takes us to
The kitchen.
The bedroom.
Oh, and of course, where we spend most of our time.
The backyard.
The new house is amazing, so much character.
Original crown molding, walk-in closets.
We do have a rat problem. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
It does help us save.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the couch. Baseball or football or racquetball, we don't mind, we'll watch any at all. 'Cause it's root for the home team.
Oh, way, we don't really care.
Oh, no, I care.
'Cause sports are finally back and there's a Bud Light there.
Zach, you get 60 seconds before we have to close out. Things to watch for tomorrow.
All right, we got 3 things we're going to be looking forward here. One is Jaron Christian. He's been the starter at left tackle for the past 2 days, and I'm really looking forward to see what he's going to be doing. Not a guy that we all expected was going to be in that conversation, but he is, and he's doing really well. The next guy is Steven Sims as an outside receiver. That's in the slot was where he made most of his receptions last year, most of his yards, but he wants to be as good of an outside receiver as he is on the inside. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to for him. And also the tight end rotation outside of Logan Thomas. And Logan Thomas has been the starting tight end for the past couple of days. But you also have to consider you have Jeremy Sprinkle, you have Richard Rodgers, and you have Thaddeus Moss out there as well. And Ron Rivera said that it's going to be a rotation among those guys because they all have some talent. They all have some skills. So Logan Thomas looks to be in that position as a starter. But like I said, he's going to get some more help out of that position. So I want to see what else the other tight ends have got.
And don't forget, Hale Hinches. It's his birthday today, by the way.
Hale
Happy birthday to him. Okay, there you go. Thank you for joining our virtual happy hour presented by Bud Light Seltzer today. We'll see you again tomorrow right here at 2:30.